future with a bigger focus on preventative care, natural treatments, and treating the person as a whole. So I've been a nurse since 2004. I worked in a nursing home for the greater part of my career. And when you work in a nursing home, it's easy to see that the government doesn't really care about these people. They feed them the crappiest food and push as much pills as they can. So when the government said that they were shutting down the entire economy to protect these people, a big red flag went into my head.
No kidding.
And I thought everybody would be able to see through it, but nobody did. So I stayed quiet at first. I was actually chief steward of the union, and I told the union, like, they're messing with our rights, they're mistreating residents, and the union told me, don't you care about your residents? So I'm a single mom, and I was like, I can't lose my job, so I stayed quiet for a bit. But when the second lockdowns happened, it was way too much. My residents, when you're in a nursing home, it's the last stop. And all these people have is their loved ones. And you can see them deteriorate. I had a resident that had heart problems and had anxiety and needed to see her family every day. She died of a heart attack within a week. And I saw other people were failing to thrive because families come in and help us feed the residents. And so that was like detrimental. And also, people were testing positive and nobody was sick, so then they had to stay in their rooms. And then you can see some of them who wanted to come out, they were saying that they had behaviors and they were medicating them, and so they couldn't walk anymore. Even some of them were trying to walk in the halls with their walker. They would take their walkers away, and then they had to like sit down the whole time. They were sitting down, they were having falls. They would end up in their beds, and then bed sores, and next thing you know, they're passing away. So I couldn't take it anymore, and I spoke out. Thank you. And so everything I had feared happened when I spoke out. I lost my 2 jobs, I got fired. The College of Nurses, I'm under 2 investigations. We were defamed nationally by the media, called domestic terrorists by some. There was a lot of threats. The RCMP even came and knocked at our door. But that didn't stop us. We formed Canadian Frontline Nurses, and we're going on strong. Thank you. And so we've been talking all over the country since and trying to educate people, and we've been fighting back. But there comes a time where we need to stop fighting and we need to start creating. When you're fighting, if we're fighting for freedom, that actually means that we're not free, doesn't it? Right? So we have to keep fighting in certain ways. We have to keep not complying. Of course, now, the mandates are up for a little bit, but when they come back, make sure that all of you that come to these events, don't wear the mask. Don't go to places where they want you to wear the mask. Do not comply. Vote with your dollars. Don't go to these big organizations that are discriminating against us. Support the small businesses. And of course, hold the people who have taken your rights away accountable. So us frontline nurses, we're going against the College of Nurses, of course. We're reopening all our cases with the unions and our employers. We're suing a few outlets that have defamed us, and we're also going against the government for putting up the emergency acts. So, thank you. So it's important to hold these people accountable, but we have to move on. And you, me, we are the pioneers. We are the ones that are going to create the world that we want to see. It starts with us. So us Canadian Frontline Nurses, we've been saying it for a while now, we definitely don't want to go back into this system. So we're creating a new paradigm. And so, yes, and we're on a mission to empower nurses to come out of the system too. So how do we do that? Well, we have a new directory. But first, let me tell you a little bit. So, where was I? Oh, crap. Yes, the directory. So we want to get people out of the institutions, like out of the hospitals and out of the nursing homes, and we want to make people more independent from birth to death. I don't know if you guys know, but it's actually more dangerous to have a baby in the hospital than to have it in the community. And so we want to empower nurses to find their way, and and also dying. Like, you're not supposed to be dying in a nursing home. You're supposed to be dying at home, surrounded by your family, children, the things you love, your pets. It doesn't have to be detrimental. It can also actually be a celebration of life while the person is still alive. So this is what we want to do. We want to bring everything back to the community from birth to death. So how are we doing that? We're trying to empower nurses. We have a new directory on our website, Canadian Frontline Nurses. So we want nurses to find their purpose, find their passion. And so we do that by bringing people. We're trying to offer discounts on courses, like we have a birth companion course, and we're very proud, actually. Our lead nurse from the Maritimes has actually helped deliver the first baby in the community through Frontline Nurses. So we're really happy about that. So we're bringing up courses that nurses can take. They can become patient advocates, but also they can create their own, they can become self-employed and follow their own purpose and passion. For example, I'm very big on mental health, so I started my initiative lighting up our corners. In 2017, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I don't know if you guys know what fibromyalgia is, but they say it's a long-term disability, and it has all the symptoms in the world. And what they do it took them 2 years to diagnose me, so I was like, I'm gonna die before they find out what I have. So I did my own research and found out about fibromyalgia, and it's all about toxicity, and it's a somatic illness. So if you have trauma in your life, if you had trauma in your past, you know, when you hit a certain age, always being in fight or flight will actually trigger for your body to tell you that something's wrong, so you can actually do your work. But what the medical industry does is they give you pills for each symptom that you have, and pills are toxic. And the kind of pills they give you is painkillers and sleeping pills, like really dangerous stuff, guys. And so what happens is that you take these pills and you become tolerant, and then you need more and more because you're not dealing with the root cause of the problem. And so at some point you can't take no more pills, and yes, it does become a long-term disability.